like the racists are actually just jealous of Somalis because of how successful we became in a matter of one generation. And I was watching a lot of videos that are coming up on my For You page where people are saying, how come Somalis have nice cars and we don't? We've been here like how many generations? We were born here, our ancestors are from here, but Somalis drive nice cars. This whole thing is just making me realize is jealousy. They're jealous of our success because they expect us like to be at the bottom of the bottom, right? And then we come here one generation, we work hard, we save our money. And Somalis are not the only community that committed fraud, okay? We're not all committing fraud, okay? Every community has bad apples, but they're trying to use that as leverage to hate on us, right? And attack our community. But what it is like when you're an immigrant group and you're Black on top of that and you're African, they hate you to be successful. They hate you to be successful. Now, if we were like European immigrants, like maybe Bosnians who are Muslims or Russians, and they become successful, nobody would blink an eye because they're white.
All right, so let me, because now I see Somalis starting to run in the Victim Olympics and they're blaming racism. This has nothing to do with racism, right? They want to deport Venezuelans if they're here illegally. They want to deport Guatemalans if they're here illegally. Asian people are getting deported. Africans are getting deported. And it's the same when it comes to illegal migrants with Somalis. The ignorance in this is so profound because I've never in my life, not one day, have ever heard anybody, and I travel all over, I've never heard an American, not a Black person, not an American, not a white person, anybody. I've never heard them say that they're jealous of a Somali. I've never seen them say that they're checking for y'all cars or anything like that. Here's the truth. Americans are bothered by the idea that American taxpayer dollars are being leveraged in order to give other people that is not pouring into the United States of America's culture and finances and resources and improving what's happening here, but they're trying to subvert the culture in order to be Somalia while at the same time taking advantage of our infrastructure, the dedication, the motivation, everything that we've built here in the United States of America, we built with our hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears. And then you come in, disrespect us, and then at the same time take advantage of what it is that we've afforded for Americans, legal citizens. You come over here under asylum. You come over here under temporary protective status. You come over here and you take advantage. And a lot of these people become legal after coming over here illegally. And then they also take advantage of birthright citizenship because now you're saying I'm a first generation.
The idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view.
So if American, Australian and Europeans who have the tools and resources they use to build the nations they have today were to pack up those tools and resources, move to places like Somalia and Nigeria, establish themselves there permanently while implementing their own Western Christian laws and values, would that be okay? Or would it suddenly be that the idea that Somalia and Nigeria as black nations need to be preserved is no longer a fascinatingly disgusting view? Your country is known for pirates and tribal warfare. You ran to the United States, gained a position of power that you never would have achieved had you stayed in Somalia, only to then complain that America is not like the shithole which you were so proud of that you ran away from. And I can't speak for all groups, but just between the Assyrian and Chaldean Catholic communities of Detroit and Chicago, both are the same people, they're both Assyrians, but anyway, just between these two communities, they produce a higher GDP per year than your entire country of Somalia. And you can call me a racist for pointing that out, but you can't say that I'm lying. We are a people whose land has been occupied over the last 2,000 years by numerous empires and nations. Today, currently, by Islamic Turks, Islamic Kurds, and Islamic Arabs. But none of you want to call that out. None of you want to talk about that because these are your brothers in Islam. And yet we still move to America, Australia, and Europe and contribute to society. Meanwhile, you guys are going all around Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia, turning all these beautiful locations into shitholes, and then you move to places like America, Australia, and Europe and complain that they're not like the shitholes you ran away from.
Muhammad's 3 steps was immigrate, increase, eliminate. Immigrate as a religious refugee, increase the number of your followers and demand political accommodation, and then eliminate the previous culture. So I was speaking in Detroit area, and afterwards had people come up and visit around the book table, and they were telling me about a lady who had a ministry to pregnant mothers. So she shows up at a Muslim house, has a little present. Well, out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom. Out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom. Out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom, all pregnant by the same man. He's practicing Sharia law in his house. And then someone else says, oh, yeah, Fazil bought a bunch of houses on the street, has a wife in each one.
Where was this?
In Detroit area. The wives go down to the welfare office and say their husband's not around. He goes and visits them, and the more kids they have, the larger the checks get. And he's living like a king at state expense, and all the kids playing in the middle of the street are his children. He's practicing Sharia law on his block. They take over several more blocks, and they vote in the school board. And now they have their Sharia in the schools. And then they take over more blocks. They vote in the police department, fire department. And in Hamtramck, Detroit, they vote in the majority of the city council. They have their minarets, their calls to prayer 5 times a day, no different than Pakistan. So we see the first ones come in as immigrants, and they're nice, and they're so nice, everybody says they're nice, nothing to fear, let more in, more come in, they gravitate together, form a community. Imam shows up and says, okay, you need to start getting a little more serious about this, more fundamental. Then the burqas start appearing, people say the neighborhood's changing, they move out, more Muslims move in. And then there's always that stickler that says, I refuse to move out. And that's when there's random violence from Muslim youth. And there's no witnesses, because no Muslim family dare testify against another Muslim family on behalf of some kafir infidel that's hanging in the neighborhood. And so eventually they take over the entire neighborhood. And they do this neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, block by block, until they take over countries. And there's 1,400 years of track record to observe this pattern. So they took over Egypt, which used to be Coptic Christian. They took over Syria, which used to be Christian. They took over all of Turkey, which used to be Christian. Took over all of North Africa, which used to be. They took Spain, held it for 700 years until the Spaniards drove them out.
I hope you're faring well where you are, and if you're not faring well, please fare well where you are. You know, there's a time when Morocco said, it's not in Africa, or they say they're not Africans, right? Which brought about a new kind of thought. I was wondering, who is an African? An African is someone who is black and having had hair, and hair like that of wool. Or an African is someone who lives in this huge landmass that was once called Al-Kebulan. I couldn't understand why Morocco, a country in Africa, said that they were not Africans or not in Africa. They said they are in Europe. The same thing is likened to my neighbors, Somalia. You know, Somalis are very special people. They are very good people, very good business people as well, you know. So, because we've had a lot of conflict in Mogadishu, places like Kismayu, you see, the country has been kidnapped by a rebel group called Al-Shabaab, you know. So the country, women are really, really abused, you know. Women are not taken good care of. Kids are losing their lives, you know. It's not easy to live in America. And so for this reason, something was introduced that would allow Somalis to live in America and to be given a form of protection. This form of protection would later on become something that would lead them to the path of acquiring citizenship in the United States of America, just because of the situation happening back home. Back then, presidents like George Bush, presidents like Bill Clinton, presidents like Obama, presidents like Joe Biden, you know, are presidents who helped Somali find refuge and sanctuary, you know. So they have arrived in USA and they've naturalized themselves. The accent has changed from Somali to American English. Now they are people who belong. They are holders of the American passport, you know. And so all of a sudden, they start seeing themselves as more special than the Black Americans. Black Americans are out there going and demonstrating, and they think, why should we go there? I don't think that Trump can reach us. The thing that Trump is doing is only something that will affect the blacks, the Latinas, the Hispanics, the Asians, and maybe the Far East Asians, you know. So they excluded themselves from the problems that black people are facing and other people. But they didn't realize one thing. Fate would bring them to the same situation that black people were facing during the times of immigration, during the times of deportation, right? And right now, the government is really investigating the Somalis. And now the Somalis, they want to call back, or rather they want to welcome, or rather they want the support of the black community to help them in fighting as solidarity. Now they consider themselves as blacks all of a sudden. When they suddenly say they are not blacks, now they are blacks. They are blacks because a problem has risen. Which makes me realize, who is a black person? What defines a black person? How is black defined, you know? So before we answer this, I want us to listen to these videos.
The lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abate terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth, but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
Trump is a...
Now listen, y'all. I know the Democrats finna be so upset with what Trump said about them Africans. But I ain't gonna lie. I like what he said about them Africans, about them Somalis out there in Minnesota. I do like it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sorry. I do like it. It touched my soul what he said about them people. What I always said about these black immigrants or immigrants that come to this country and complain about this country. How you come from a third world country and have all these negative things to say about America, but you come from filth? It stinks out there. That's what Donald Trump said. That's what I always say. It stink out there. I always say that all the time. It ain't paradise either out there. That's what he said. Now listen, I ain't no Trump supporter. But I do like what he's doing with this immigration thing. And I'm riding with him on there 100%. That's the only thing since I've been alive that I can understand and I can agree with. This immigration thing. These immigrants been very hostile and very disrespectful. But shout out to Trump for saying what he said. Now listen, don't y'all come over here, Democrats, like I'm the Trump supporter. I don't like neither one of them motherfuckers. But I do like what he's doing with these immigrants. I promise I do.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them the hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, has Maduro offered to leave? About to deport hundreds of Somali Americans right now. I'm gonna break it down for you. So on November 21st, Trump announced via Truth Social that he's terminating TPS for Somalis in Minnesota. And the reason he's doing this is because he has accused the Minnesota Somali community of fraud and money laundering. But as of now, he has offered no public verified proof of that. According to the congressional data, around 705 of them being Somali-born people in the US currently benefit from TPS. And the DHS actually extended and redesignated Somali's TPS status on July 22nd, 2024 into March 2026. Legal experts argue that Trump does not have legal authority to unilaterally revoke TPS designated by law, especially for a particular group in one state. Civil rights groups are calling that this is politically motivated and discriminatory, and courts are likely to step in. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with Trump or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below.
Stand back! Stand back! Move back! This is the freedom. I'm coming to my process immigration. What country are you from? I'm from Western Sahara.
Somali says black Americans don't know their fathers.
African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They would tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا.
I keep screaming this from every mountaintop I can. That's Hassan Ali, and this is Ilhan Omar. We know who Ilhan Omar. Hassan is the president or prime minister of Somalia. They had a roundtable meeting with nothing but Africans talking about getting in to American politics, but understanding that they are 100% Somalian and they will never change. Now, in this clip that I'm about to show, Mr. Ali, Hassan Ali, is talking, and he's letting it be known that Ilhan Omar is there to take a black American seat in Congress.
It is very important in hand Somali measures Somalia or exceeding Sutai. Ninu Haka, Kusias, of moral.
They are not here to be our friends. They are not here to fight for all black people. They are here to fight for Somalians. That's it. Those are not my words. It's their words. It's their actions, right? So before y'all jump on here, look, just another jealous black American. I'm not jealous of anything. We can't be beat. We're undefeated here. That's something y'all forgot. Mind you, this shit was on camera. So I want to know what y'all got to say about that. I already know that black Americans have no allies at all. We don't have friends here. We don't have allies here, especially Africans. It's sad, but it's true. And it's not coming from us. It's coming from you guys, because you guys come over here to this country, automatically look at us as enemy number one. Then you get caught on camera doing this kind of shit. It's absolutely crazy, but I love when people show their true colors. Please tell me who you are so I can believe you the first time.
Enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. When you have Nancy and Randy saying, we're on it, we're going to impeach her, when they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen.
So all year, immigrants been running around screaming, Black Americans, y'all going to be deported next. Y'all going to be deported too. But you got an immigrant saying that she can't be deported because she's an American citizen, a naturalized citizen. When Black Americans are birthright citizens, like, we can't be deported. But yet, immigrants of all creed and colors, all of the immigrants, not just the Black ones, but the white ones, the Native Americans, the Latinos, of course, the Africans, the Caribbeans, they always screaming, oh, y'all next. They deporting Black people too. Y'all next. Y'all going to get deported next, Black Americans. Y'all think they're not going to deport y'all if they're deporting? But you got an immigrant saying that she can't be deported because she's a citizen. She's a naturalized citizen, y'all. Her citizenship can be revoked, by the way. But it's funny how they, when they're under the fire, it's like they know all the fucking rules and laws and, we can't be deported. But they want to fearmonger and try to, like, mislead Black Americans to feel like they want to be deported. Y'all, the psychological warfare these people are playing on Black Americans is nasty. It's insidious. Trump, please hurry up and get these motherfuckers out of here.
Trump is coming after Somalis in Minnesota, terminating TPS protection and stating Minnesota is being terrorized by Somali gangs. Send them back home. Yeah. Governor of Minnesota, he fired back. Ilhan Omar fired back. Republicans cheering. What? What is this? Because there's only 700 Somalis that have TPS. Majority of Somalis, they're US citizens. They're green card holders. They're refugees from the 90s. They have built communities, businesses, neighborhoods. What is he talking about? Why is he framing it like the whole Somali population depends on his TPS? This is called drama, theater, better headline. Yeah. So, what is the intention behind this drama? What's your thoughts behind this? Appreciate that.
We're one community. We're neighbors. Yes. We love each other. Yes. We support each other. Yes. We help each other. Yes. We unite for each other. Yes. Nothing can divide us.
We're dealing with families not being able to afford their groceries. We see our food shelves running out. Instead of that, he decided to also pit our communities against each other. And what we're saying is that that is a distraction. The reality is that people are struggling. Our communities are struggling.
TPS does not impact that many Somalis, like you said. The numbers are small because the vast majority of Somali Minnesotans who are here are naturalized citizens or they are born here, right? And America is our home now. We are Somali Americans. We are proud, regardless of the negative stories and things that they push against our community.
I want our government to stand up for the immigrants, for documented and undocumented people, because the Constitution protects all of us. I think that Somalis in particular have been the scapegoat. People have kind of highlighted, a few bad apples, painting a broad picture of just how all Somalis are, and that's not the case at all. If you look around, we are business owners, we're doctors, we're teachers, we're lawyers, we're mothers. People just trying to make a better life for themselves.
Today it's Somalis.
You see, as the English proverb goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. You see, hard times build bonds. Hard times build bonds. See, you can't say you're my friend when we are eating ice cream, right? When we're eating ice cream, we are very good friends. But when I start eating lemon, I don't see you around, I'm looking for my friend so that we can enjoy some lemon, bitter lemon. I can't find them. See, that's not a friend. That's a spender, That's someone who wants to use you. The same situation is likened to the situation of the Somalis and the black community in America. See, these people have always excluded themselves from the black people. Many of them, not all. Again, I repeat, I have Somali friends. I have them. But I think I need to speak this. The problem that is happening between the Somalians and the black people in America is classism, right? It's colorism as well. It's also racism in some form. You know, for you who is not in Africa, you may not understand this. You may not understand. But there are things we Africans living in Africa, we notice about the Somalis who are here. We both have Somalis in America and here. How they act over there is just but a shadow of what happens here. What happens here is the real deal. What is there is the shadow, you know? When someone welcomes you to a house, when someone welcomes you to their place, humble, you know? Humble. The servant cannot be equal as the master. No, the master will always be bigger than the servant. And people must always understand the system of hierarchy, right? Hierarchy is constructed on the nature of merits, right? Hierarchy is constructed in the format of merits or in the nature of merits, right? Your education, your wealth, your performance, what you do, you know, that is called merit. And right now I'm looking back. Right now I'm trying to scan around, you know. I'm trying to see the situation of black people in America, because blacks have really, really suffered a lot in the hands of the oppressors. It was not just slavery, you know. It became to redlining. It became to racism. It became to Jim Crow laws. But now the biggest one that hits is when someone who looks like you, someone who should even understand your pain better, is the one now throwing stones at you. That really hurts hard, you know. It really hurts hard. Trump has been deporting people. And some people have always thought they are special and they can't be deported. What brings about this idea? What makes you think you're special? Like, what makes you elevate yourself to this level and say, I think I can't suffer is the same way so and so suffered? What makes you think in that line? It's a question I'm asking you. What makes you think in that line, I'm not gonna experience it like the way they did. I'm special, I'm protected by the, is it called TPMS, you know, temporary passport, is it called TPS, right? Where someone who leaves their country because they can't go back is given a protection. The protection later becomes a citizenship. You see, before you start misbehaving in someone else's country, remember how you were living previously in your country. Was it good? If you were to be deported back there, would you feel comfortable as compared to where you are living now and how you're living now? The voice that you are using right now to insult other people, will you have the same voice when you go back to Somali? It's a question you must ask yourself. Before you despise on black people, before you embezzle the funds of the person who is protecting you, there's a question you must ask yourself, you know? The saying goes, if you bite the fingers that feed you, what happens next is very bad, you know? Because you'll start licking the boots that kick you. And you don't want to stoop low to that level. You don't want to do that, man. Stay cool, stay composed, you know? That is the challenge that we are having as black people. We should be united, we should cultivate one another and protect one another. And then we should have faithfulness. I still consider Somali people as black people. Even though they refuse, I still consider them as black people. What happens is unity is key. Unity is key and faithfulness is key. You know, right now people will say, oh, not all of us stole the money, but the news out there is painting him bad image. If you know so-and-so is doing a bad activity, call them out. Call them out. See, the whole boat is can roll just because of a few rotten apples, you know. Pick them out, man. Don't let the whole community tarnish into a bad image while you yourselves, you know who is causing this, you know. Unity among black people is key. When there's unity, the enemy cannot attack easily. When there's unity, there's progress, you know. That's my message. That's my message. And anybody living in Africa is an African. Anybody living in the global south is black. That is what I have to tell you. Do not say you are not black and you live just east of my country. You are so black as I am. See you in the next one and stay positive.